How may I help you? How may I help you? Yeah, let me get awesome ass status effect and put some cool IDs with it. Oh, it comes with cool IDs. There's so many cool IDs to build around. It comes with cool IDs. Oh, is that so? Is Tremor underrated? By me. Ah, you probably forgot. You probably forgot. I didn't forget. Anyways. I do not have every Tremor ID/ego. I cannot recommend something I do not have, as that would feel personally disingenuous, and I like holding integrity and honesty, even if these are silly little slideshows. I can be wrong sometimes, but I do not wish to share recommendations for things I do not own, as I don't know how good they are to use. I don't have Everlasting, and I'm not wasting my shards on it. Please keep your mouse is a Tremor ID haha comments to yourself, as I will not be taking Everlasting into consideration. He's not here. That being said, I also do not have Eurodivi Honglu. If you have any problem with that and argue he should still be in this video, feel free to donate money to me using the YouTube thanks feature so I can pull/shard him. Wait, why are you getting quiet now? Where's your argumentative energy? Little pussy? Oh, suddenly when it comes to opening your purse, you get all quiet. Also, subscribe if you like my content. What is Tremor and why is it considered weak? Tremor is a status effect that allows direct interactions with stagger thresholds in the form of raising the stagger thresholds by potency and exhausting the count to do so. On paper, Tremor has a lot of downsides at its core. It is the status effect that deals both the least damage, and the use case for Tremor mainly being enemies with low HP / lots of stagger thresholds. You might pass it off as useless outside of unfocused fights and mirror dungeons. If only there were special types of application for Tremor that applied affinity damage values and / or interacted with different status effects. The 7 Tremor souls. Why is there so many? There is generally so many different types of Tremor. While it seems daunting at first, this actually goes into why I think Tremor is great. Tremor IDs can fit into mostly every team composition due to the factor that they support many types of status effects / sin affinities and damage values. Some Tremors are straight up really good enemy debuffs, like Tremor Chain giving -1 clashing power. Tremor is one of the more open-ended keywords to build around because there's a variety of team comps to build for. The downside of multiple types of Tremor. While building purely into Tremor, you might see a downside to be from some of the stronger IDs having Tremor types that will convert and clash with one another. This might seem like reliance on the better IDs might be a bit strict, but with careful management you can actually run them all side by side, and it can be used to your benefit to adapt to different types of enemies even with the same team composition. I will be listing some of the moreover stronger and notable types of Tremor and Tremors equivalent to Deluge. Tremor Scorch. Belonging to 2 identities at the time of recording this, Tremor Scorch is an infliction of wrath damage on top of the stagger damage Tremor applies. Tremor Scorch takes the sum of both burn and Tremor potency, halves it, and inflicts wrath affinity based damage based on the result on Tremor burst while lowering the burn count by 1. Since both burn and Tremor are very easy to maintain positive count for, this means in longer fights you can easily get upwards of 99 wrath damage per Tremor burst. I genuinely believe this to be one of the most strongest variations of unique Tremor just due to how easy the 2 statuses of Tremor Scorch are to maintain. Tremor Hemorrhage. About the same thing as Scorch, just for inflicting less damage and utilizing bleed instead of burn. I consider this specific type of Tremor a bit weaker than Scorch due to how harder bleed is to maintain than burn. However, it would be a lie to say it doesn't get additional points for synergizing with arguably the best status effect in the game to build around. Bleed / Tremor teams are made very good by this status effect. Tremor Reverb. Basically like Scorch Hemorrhage, but it relies on... Actually, wait. Holy shit. This one is self-efficient and relies on no other status effect to deal sloth affinity damage. There's no dividing by half from 2 different status effects potency, just pure raw Tremor potency applied to sloth damage. Though I personally do not have him and can't speak on experience in using him, it's important to note that Eurodivi Honglu has Tremor Reverb, which is really strong. Tremor Chain. Unlike the few listed before, this Tremor's usage is not affinity-based damage, but rather giving enemies clash power down per potency, a max of 3. -3 clash power sounds amazing on paper, and utilizing this alongside other unique types of Tremor can make a really easy to utilize advantage state in fights while other IDs convert it to damage type Tremor. Time Moratorium. Not a unique type of Tremor, but one found on some Tremor IDs that synergize really well with Tremor team compositions. Think of it like Tremor's sinking deluge. Imagine a bank, if you will. A bank where if you put in money, it comes out with, let's say, a plus 30% interest rate. That's time moratorium, except with damage being mitigated and then all built up damage against an enemy getting turned into soft damage after 2 turns. You might think this is silly considering that it just deals the affinity-based damage that would happen anyways over 2 turns. But actually, Tremor bursts still work during it, and Tremor only works to boost the final damage value equation when time moratorium ends. You can still lower an enemy's stagger threshold. All that damage you built up, everything, can be unleashed when you stagger an enemy with proper management. It's really strong if utilized correctly and creates a bit of strategy for determining risk-reward on whether to or not to cash in or let it rock. As in a stagger, affinity-based damage does not matter. Everything is 2 times, so that is all that damage built, and then you stagger with a Tremor burst, and then you basically just get 2 times what you put in plus the 30%. It is very strong if used against enemies with stagger thresholds. Non-specific Tremor IDs. Some pretty good Tremor fill-ins that provide Tremor count / potency without having to worry about unique types of Tremor clashing. They're pretty vital to their team compositions and help boost the effects of the special types of Tremor as they either inflict good count, potency, or Tremor burst a lot. These IDs should be considered when building for any unique type of Tremors. Sorry, I kind of fucking misspelled here. It's like 2 AM. That's my bad. Lastly, the ID that made me fall in love with Tremor. Swai Ishmael is unironically one of the greatest designed IDs in the entire game, and I will die on this hill. She's an amazing tank, uses self-Tremor count as charge, amazing rolls depending on defensive buffs, and deals an insane amount of damage while applying relatively substantial Tremor count / potency with her skills. Some call this ID boring if they're wrong, but she showed me the true value in Tremor, and I have used her to solo Ricardo in my first playthrough. Tremor is a team, she diverts attention while applying count and potency within that team, and when she's prepared, she dishes out serious damage. Did I forget to mention she's not able to be staggered in her gimmick? There's an exception to this when fighting Ricardo if he increases her stagger threshold beyond her max HP. This ID meshes well with Winning Beat and generally is one of my go-to picks when building Tremor types. She is insane. If you can, shard this ID. Like, actually, she's probably one of the better IDs in the game. I love her so much, and she is so fun to play around with. Those are a few quick reasons and explanations why I think Tremor is far from weak. Boasting some of the strongest hybrid effect applications in the game, viewing Tremor as only being utilized to deal stagger damage is effectively wrong. I view Tremor to be unironically one of the second strongest keywords to build around in this game, second only to Bleed, due to both its utility and all-round effectiveness despite if the enemy has stagger thresholds or not. Any Tremor IDs you in particular love? And you think should be shown more love? Let me know. Tremor is not weak.